Hey friends, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be making this video. As you guys can tell, this is going to be explaining the Feelgoodathon, a pipe dream that was born from a tweet that I had posted where I said basically I was going to be creating a readathon where you could read whatever you want as long as it made you feel better, and so the Feelgoodathon was created. This is going to be hopefully a seasonal or maybe like twice a year kind of readathon that we're going to be doing, but this is basically the summer season. I'm hosting this with 3 other lovely ladies whose channels I will leave down below. Their TBRs as well as my TBR will also be going up today, but I did want to have a central video where people could come back for any kind of information that they needed. So go ahead and follow them. A couple of them are going to be doing suggestion videos and a couple of us are going to be doing straight up TBRs. So if you want suggestions for maybe books that you can choose, all of their channels will be down below, as well as the readathon Twitter. If you like to do Twitter, we obviously have a readathon Twitter, and then if you like to do Instagram, we have a readathon Instagram. But that is to share and talk about what you guys are reading and just come together. That is really the whole point of this readathon, I would say, is just to feel better, and I feel like a lot of us do feel better when there is some sense of community, so that is why we have created both of those so that we can share and talk and have dialogue. There's going to be some reading sprints going on Twitter, there's going to be some like live stream read-ins, things like that, so if you want to be engaged in any of that, you have your choice of where you would like to engage yourself to do that. But today is going to be an informational video. I'm just going to be going over all of the prompts and kind of how the readathon works. It is from June 1st through June 14th. There are 4 of us hosts. I'm very excited for the hosts that I've chosen this year. Like I said, channels down below. But basically what you are going to be doing is creating your perfect day. We have 2 different sets of prompts that you can choose from. First ones are very stereotypically readathon prompts, so they are based around books. And within that, you can choose one book to satisfy as many prompts as you want. You can double up on books however you need to do it. And then on the other side, we do have some self-care prompts. And that is because we wanted to kind of focus this readathon around, like I said, feeling better, whether that's being connected with friends, getting more connected with yourself, just taking care of yourself, whatever it needs to be. So I'm going to kind of go over all of the prompts, but you can choose as many or as few as you would like to essentially create your perfect day, or in this case, your perfect 2 weeks, because that's as long as we are going to be doing it this round this summer. So like I said, there's going to be 10 prompts for both. If you want to choose 2 from the reading and 10 from the self-care, you can do that. If you want to choose 2 of the self-care and 1 from the reading, it's really whatever you're capable of doing. It's not necessarily something that I want people stressing themselves out about. I want people to have fun. I want people to to have a goal that really is centered around making yourself feel better, helping yourself feel better, as well as being a little bit more connected. So I'm going to go over all of the prompts. I'm going to start with the book related ones. Prompt number 1 is a book you have high hopes for. So any book that you've seen around that based on reviews you're really going to love, or a book that you just have like a gut feeling that you are absolutely 100% going to love. Number 2 is a short book. So we're aiming for, we said about 150, but honestly anything that can be considered a short book for you. So I like to read books that are 800 pages long. That's what I read in the month of May, and it was kind of crazy. So if 800 is your normal, maybe 400, 300, that's your short book. If maybe you read 300 or 400 page books normally, 100 pages, 150, like you can read graphic novels, you can read magazines, you can read manga, you can read anything you want that is considered a shorter book for you. So like I said, we want to make it as comfortable as possible for everybody. So if a short book is 700 pages for you or 200 pages for you, read whatever is more comfortable for you. Number 3 is completionist. So finish or continue a series that you have. So if you have a series that that you've started and you want to complete, this is the prompt for that. Or maybe you've read 2 of the 4 in a series or 2 of 7 in a series, just continue with the series. You don't necessarily need to finish it, but if you can, that's awesome. But just continue with a series that maybe you've had on your shelves for a long time. Number 4 is a book containing your favorite trope. So a squishy book that you love. So if you like found family or you like hate to love romance, any trope that you truly enjoy, try to find a book within that and read it for the readathon. Number 5 is a book you picked up because of the cover. So whether that is you rented it from the library because of the cover, or you were at like Barnes & Noble and got it because you love the cover, this is why we have this prompt, because I feel like a lot of us have books on our shelves that we bought because of the cover, and I think now would be a really great time to read them and see how you actually feel about them. Number 6 is read one of the host's favorite books. If you go to our Instagram or our Twitter, we do actually have lists of all of our favorite books. Each one of us chose 5, so if you'd like to read one of our favorite books and then be able to talk to us or everybody else about it, you can find a list of them there. Number 7 is one that I'm really excited about and really excited to be getting into for the readathon, and it's buddy read a book with a friend. And I, like I said, wanted to focus a lot on feeling connected with people and being able to kind of reach out and show love at the same time, especially with everything that is going on. So I thought buddy reading a book would be really fun. We're not doing a group book because it is obviously a little bit harder to get books right now. Finances are a little bit crazy for certain people, so you want to find a book that you possibly already own or can get from a library if you're able to. Maybe you use the Libby app and buddy read it with a friend. Maybe Skype them and talk about it, or get Voxer and talk to them about it, but just be able to discuss something that you're enjoying with another person. Number 8 is to reread an old favorite. I feel like a lot of the time when people ask me, like, how do you get out of reading slumps? How do you try to feel better when you're feeling really down? And it's reading an old favorite. So find a book that you know that you've already read, that you truly love, and reread it. Number 9 is a bit weird, but I'm actually really excited to do this one, and it's read a book younger you would have loved. So maybe a genre or type of book that you were into when you were younger, or maybe a book that you pined after when you were younger that maybe you weren't allowed to read because your parents didn't let you read, or was a little bit maybe above your reading level at the time. Just read a book that younger you would have absolutely loved for one reason or another. And number 10, which is our branching out one, is to read a book by an author you've never read before. Now, obviously it is Pride Month, so I would encourage you to read a book by an author that it's in the LGBT community, or maybe reading a book by an author of color, any kind of support that you can lend. But really, I just want you to focus on reading a book by an author that you've never read before. Maybe it's an author that you've seen around. Maybe it's an author you've thought about possibly reading. This is the prompt to finally make that leap. All right, now I'm going to get into my favorite part of the readathon, or what I think is going to end up being my favorite part of the readathon, and it is going to be the self-care portion of this. So these are 10 more prompts that you can choose from. Like I said before, you can choose as many as you want from both categories, but these are prompts that are primarily semi-connected to the reading prompts, but are mostly about taking care of yourself and making you feel at your absolute best. So the first one that we have is snuggle session. Read a book while cuddling something soft. It can be a blanket. It can be your significant other. It can be, you know, a pillow or a cat, whatever it is, something that, you know, sensory makes you feel better. I think a lot of us can relate to like big snuggly blankets, maybe with our animals, whatever it is, and how much that enhances our reading experience and our mental health. Number 2 is called stretch. So basically we want you to get your body moving. It can be doing yoga. It can just be simple stretching, which is a lot of the time what I do. It can be going for walks, going for a hike, getting out and maybe going for a run, whatever it is, just get your body moving, because I feel like a lot of us are pretty sedentary right now, and it does after a while kind of weigh on you. So get outside, go outside and enjoy nature, or even sit inside and just do some stretching, but anything to kind of get your body moving again. Number 3 is engage your brain or meditate. I don't actually meditate anymore. I used to, and I'm hoping that this will get me back into meditating, but take 5, 10, 15 minutes, 2 hours, however long you choose to meditate, and kind of engage your brain, but also clear your brain at the same time and kind of reset everything. Number 4 is productivity. And I want to stress that this prompt is not necessarily something that you absolutely have to do. I know there's been a lot of talk about using this time to be productive, or, you know, using any kind of downtime to be productive. I'm definitely one of those people who's like, oh, I have time, I should be filling it with a bunch of stuff. But basically this prompt is to take an hour or any delegated amount of time and accomplish something that you've been putting off. It can be putting away your laundry, it can be paying a bill, or cleaning your car, or taking time to read, whatever it is. Anything that you know that you've been putting off, take a little bit of time to get that done. Like I said, any amount of time that you'd prefer. We have here set for an hour, but you can do it for as long as maybe the task takes. Number 5 is taste fresh air. This kind of goes along with the movement one, and it is to read near an open window or read outside if you are able. You can go for a walk and listen to an audiobook. If you're one of those crazy people that can read and walk at the same time, I would recommend that, but try to take care that you're not like wandering into traffic or whatever. But go outside or near a window and try to get some sunshine and some fresh air while you are reading. Number 6 is one of my favorite, but it's called A Simpler Time. You are to watch a movie that brings you nostalgia, a movie that makes you feel things. So for me, it would be like Hocus Pocus or Practical Magic or The Nightmare Before Christmas, like those kinds of movies. Watch something that is your favorite that always reminds you of a happier and simpler time. Number 7 is eat. I feel like I need to stress this. I think it's very important that people are properly feeding themselves. Like even if you eat complete garbage, as long as you're eating, I'm happy. So this prompt is to make a meal alone or with a loved one that you've been wanting to try, or maybe that you have a lot of groceries lying around that you need to use, whatever it is. If you guys have seen me talk recently about kind of how I'm adjusting to everything that is happening, one thing that really helped me was cooking my meals with Rocco. Rocco and I have been making all of our meals together, and you will be surprised at how much time you can kill making food, even if it is simple. And it's really nice to kind of clear your mind. I like to actively meditate in the sense of like focusing on something, whether it be driving or cooking. That's how I kind of clear my mind and focus on things. And I think cooking with somebody you love or even by yourself, it's a really good resource to kind of center yourself again. So I did want to stress this one. So this prompt is called Eat, and it is to cook a meal alone or with a loved one. Number 8 is my other favorite, and that is laugh. So for this prompt, what you are to do is to find a quote, picture, video, whatever it is that makes you laugh and share it with someone. Whether you share it via text message, if you share it on social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, whatever, share it with other people to kind of spread the love and spread the joy. Number 9 is to tell someone you love them. So for this, it can be Skype, it could be a friend that you have on Twitter that you haven't talked to in a while, it could be writing a letter to someone, like a postcard. My mom and I still send postcards to each other even though we literally live in the same city. Call someone and tell them that you love them. Just reach out to someone who is important to you that maybe you haven't spoken to in a while, or even if you talk to them all the time, just reach out to somebody and tell them you're thinking of them and that you love them. And the last prompt is one that I have done before and I find incredibly fun, and it's write a letter to future you. And this letter can include anything you want. It can be a diary entry of what happened to you today or the day that you're writing it. It can be goals that you would like to achieve and see if future you is able to achieve them. But just basically write future you a letter, date it for a specific date, and keep it and don't open it until that date. Obviously, this is an ongoing thing. You can write it for a week from now. You can write it for 10 years from now. Any amount of time, but make sure you keep it and don't lose it and open it on that day. It's actually really cool to see, because I think a lot of people get stuck on kind of how life is when they are experiencing it, but life does come in seasons. Sometimes it's a really shitty rainy season and sometimes it's a super happy season. So it's kind of cool to be able to look back and see what season of your life you were in and how far you have come. So prompt number 10 is to write a letter to yourself. Alright guys, so those are all the prompts. So like I said, we have the book related prompts and we have the self-care related prompts, and you can choose as many from each category as you would like. If you want to accomplish all of them in one day, you could do that. If you want to choose one book for every single prompt of the book related ones, you can do that. If you want to do all of the self-care ones one week, all of the reading ones another week, there are really no rules to this. The one thing that I want people to get out of this is a sense of community. Like I said, we do have the Twitter and the Instagram down below that you guys can go and follow us on to kind of stay connected. Like I said, there's going to be read-ins and sprints and everything. So I really just want people to feel good. I want people to feel better. I've seen a lot of stuff online about how sad people are and how down people are, and I've also seen many people being like they don't feel like they have a sense of community. They don't really know how to make friends in the community, whether it be subscribers or creators or bloggers, whatever it is. I feel like a lot of people are feeling that way, and it's kind of like, well, let's just connect everybody and spread the joy and spread the love and start to try to take care of ourselves and feel better. And like I said, that's the whole point of this readathon. So I want you guys to choose whatever prompts make sense to you, whatever prompts work for you. There's no gold star for completing all of them. There is no goal to this other than to be the best feeling version of yourself at the end of it. But I love you guys. Like I said, the Twitters and everything will be down below. All the other hosts' YouTube channels will be down below, and you will be able to check out our TBRs and our recommendation videos that will also be coming. But I love you guys. I am so excited for this, and I will see you in my next video. The first one that I'm going to talk about is probably the most controversial on this, and it'd be Crescent City, or House of Earth and Blood, I think is what the new series is called, by Sarah J. Maas. I just don't want to read this for very peculiar reasons. You guys know that the Throne of Glass series is a series that I absolutely adore. It is one of my favorite series of all time, written by the same author.